Starting right off rip, FNAF 1 Chica. I'm gonna give this one like a good 7 out of 10. Like, you get what he was going for, but it doesn't really. It, I mean, like, what is this supposed to characterize? You know, like, I guess she's a greedy chicken. She likes to eat, but that doesn't really, like, I can't see it in their face. And I'm always going to be comparing these to like the FNAF 1 Freddy design, right? Because you can understand his character just by looking at him. He's a serious bear. Outside of that, though, it's very creepy in the dark, just like the rest of them. So you know what? I'm gonna actually put it at an 8 out of 10. And the FNAF 1 Chica gets an 8 out of 10. I was contemplating not making this video at all, though, because there really isn't really too much to say, but whatever. Anyway, Withered Chica. Yeah, straight to Withered Chica. She gets a 7 out of 10 because while she's very scary and corpse-like and is a very good withered, design altogether with the broken jaw, because the Withereds have very distinct designs, right? Very blatant damage to them, missing face and arm, broken jaw, that sort of thing. It's just I don't see this being a character that is like on stage, even if it's fixed. Like, this is a really ugly animatronic, which I guess Phone Guy says that, but still, So 7 out of 10 because of the spookiness, but also because it doesn't do a good job in universe of being what it's supposed to be. Now, Toy Chica, I'd give her a solid 9 out of 10, and I'm gonna avoid making jokes about her, but she's very cutesy. She's very full of life. I keep saying this in every video, but they're obviously like meant to contrast the withered animatronics, so I don't give them shit for not being scary because that's supposed to be taken up by their counterparts. So yeah, 8 out of 10. You have Phantom Chica, all the jokes about her looking like a melon across the years. I mean, I just like damage. I like mold. I like old designs. This one is, I would honestly put it at a 9 out of 10, just above the FNAF 1 design, specifically because of the way it looks. Like, it's just a damaged, burnt version of that one. I think that's really cool. And then you have Nightmare Chica, that's a 10 out of 10. All the Nightmares are 10s, alright? And then you have Jacko Chica, who's also a 10, just because it's based on the original Nightmare design. Like, they both do their job effectively. They're both nightmares, those scary, versions of this character. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm going to talk about the nightmares probably next video when I do Foxy, when I get around to him. And then you have, I'm just going to skip that one, the FNAF World Chicas, and I'm just going to get past them. You have Funtime Chica, 9 out of 10, She isn't meant to be scary because she doesn't actually show up in game. So, and when she does show up in Ultimate Custom Night, she's very clearly a gag character. She looks good for what she's supposed to be in universe. I'll give her that. What else? Rockstar Chica, 5 out of 10. And I think we were looking at the AR versions. I have the list of images up on screen. Who else? There really isn't that many versions. Like, I'm skipping all the AR versions. And then we have what? Glamrock Chica. Yeah, see all the Chica designs, I mean, they're pretty mid, just by definition. Like, I don't really... Maybe it's just me, I don't really care about Chica, or Foxy, if I'm being honest. He used to be my favorite. We'll see, because I'm going to review him at some point. But Glamrock Chica, I forgot to mention her. She's 6 out of 10. She's not scary, and that's how I'd be measuring these animatronics. I weigh how scary they are, and like how scary they are to us, and what they're supposed to be in universe. Not very scary. They could have done something creative, like have a rip off her beak or tear out her eyes, or some more bodily harm shit, considering the type of character she was meant to be, but they didn't. She's just generic antagonist number 3, and I don't really care for that. So, I mean, Security Breach kind of sucked. Freddy was the only good thing about it. But anyway, that's all I have to say.